Hello everyone and welcome back to I guess we could call this a remastering or a look back at the Oni, which I did way back in I think 2021 or so. There was some issues with the music being a little too loud for some people, so I wanted to come back in, maybe re-look at the Oni just to make sure that everything was right with the corrections, and post this again with better music and a better understanding from where I was a couple years ago to where I am now. So with that, let's get into the Oni. I'm going to skip ahead my usual spiel and just get right into this since, we know what's going on. The business is, check the description below for a link for the tool for free. You can donate or whatnot, get it from my Ko-fi page, and also suggest a monster. So there we go, business out of the way. Let's get into the Oni real fast. So we're going to look at this monster here. We're going to start from the top down and basically work from the left to the right here. It kind of works like reading a book, which is nice. He only has 16 AC, is a large giant, which I always forget this thing is a giant, which is really funny. It has 13 D10 hit dice and has the following stats: a 19 strength, 11 dex, 16 con, 14 intelligence, 12 wisdom, and 15 charisma. We are expecting this to be a CR7. And let's see here, we have a whole bunch of saving throws of dex, con, wiz, and charisma. So we're going to jump into there and change that for an effective +2 AC bonus. Then we have a whole bunch of skills which we don't care about. Senses, languages, they don't matter here. They would matter with Tales of the Valiant though, for a couple of these anyways. We also have innate spellcasting. We have at will, darkness, and invisibility. Now these are defensive spells, and technically the trade-off should be about equivalent, but the big one here is Cone of Cold. This is going to be our big one that we're going to want to get the damage rating for this. Darkness could also come in handy, although this is magical darkness and we don't have any way to see through magical darkness, so it's not really going to help us really at all. We also do have Charm Person, which could be helpful. Gaseous Form is more for a get out of jail card, and Sleep may also be the same way. So these two here are kind of escape plans. Beyond that, let's move into our attack ranges and whatever else we have on the right side for the Oni. We also have magic weapons, which don't really matter in this case. It's just for flavor text. We do have regeneration though, so we will go ahead and add this into the right side. And regeneration is down here. We will add in that we get 10 hit points at the start of each round, which will give us 30 effective hit points. And then we move into the attack section here, which is pretty handy. Now, right off the bat, I'm going to tell you, change shape is going to be kind of worthless at this point. It's good for surprise events, getting the jump on your party, what have you. We only really care about the multi-attack, claw, or glaive here. Now, obviously, the claw is for the Oni form, and the glaive is for regular humanoid form, but or the giant form. And more than likely, we're going to be using the glaive anyways, because the glaive is going to be doing more damage, it looks like anyways, from two-handed. So let's come back over here to the workstation, the combat workspace, and we're going to have a +7 to hit for either attack, which doesn't really matter. We do have 10 foot of reach, which is pretty handy for the glaive, so that's going to be very good for sure to have. Oh, I see. 9 damage if in small or medium form. So in large form, we get 2d10, which is great. So let's use this. We're going to say, of course, we're going to be in giant form. So we're going to be swinging at 2d10, which is going to be 15 flat hit point or damage. We don't have any odd number dice. We don't have to worry about that extra half a die. We are going to be doing this twice, as we can make 2 attacks either with its claws or its glaive. So that will be 30 damage per round here. And then we do have the Cone of Cold and potentially Charm Person. So let me get the damage information for that, and then we will continue working out this monster's CR. And just as a reminder, this is for 2 targets, so we don't have to double it ourselves. This is the damage we are doing right off the bat here. So just to make sure, I may have goofed up in other episodes, but in any event, we have 72 damage for our 2 targets. For that. So let's see here, what else do we have? We had the Charm Person, which is a level 1 spell, and that is going to be 1 target, so that should be roughly, I think, 11 DPR. Yes, Charm Person is 11 DPR, which is, this will give us 27 effective hit points. We could set that up on the first round of combat, which we can then concentrate on, and then we could use Cone of Cold on the second round, and then third round we could use the multi-attack. So let's go with that. We're going to say round 1 is going to be nothing. Round 2 is going to be, actually round 1 will do 0. Round 2 is going to be our Cone of Cold in theory, and then round 3 is going to be our multi-attack. So let's go and pop in 27 effective extra hit points for that charm person and see what we get here. So moving up, we do indeed have a CR7 Oni. That is, again, round 1, charm person, which technically takes one person out of the combat. Round 2, multi-attack, AoE, Cone of Cold, and then third round is going to be our glaive attack. Now, after rounds 4 and on, our DPR is technically going to be dropping. So our effective, or our offensive CR, the OCR here, is going to be dropping from a 5 down to, let's see here, only down to a 4, because this is going to be where our average is going to be now, between 27 and 32 for an average of 30. And then that is going to, let's see here, 4 and 8. That's going to drop our overall CR to a 6. So the only reason we have a 7 right now is because of the Cone of Cold. Now let's see what happens real quick if we don't charm a person. Let's get rid of that charm person effect there. We're going to throw in 30 DPR here, and now we have an OCR of 6. So we actually really need to charm a person in order to keep this at, to get this to a CR7. And even then, this is going to be challenging to keep up, because then, like I said, once the Cone of Cold is gone and we have only one use of that anyways, we're going to be then going to technically 5.5 CR, which rounds up to a 6. And you know, this is pretty much where we sit at from this point on. So the Oni should probably be played at a CR6, considering we only have that one use of Cone of Cold. In any event, this has been a look back at the Oni. For those of you that didn't care for how loud the music was, I truly apologize for that, and thank you for bringing it to my attention. And here is the corrected look again at our Oni. Nothing really else to say about this monster. So it's technically a properly balanced monster for 3 rounds of combat, but beyond that, our Oni drops from a 7 to a 6 and becomes a little easier to get rid of. And that's when our escape plans come into play of gaseous form, sleep, or invisibility. Alright, thank you all so much for watching this once again, because this I think is the fourth time I've gone over the Oni, and hopefully I'll have better control of the music, and we have the definitive edition for our D&D Oni here until the 2025 version from the Monster Manual comes out, and maybe there's some changes there. Who knows? We'll see what happens. In any event, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.